Hey everyone, okay, so today's video is a 5-step process on how to get, as best as humanly possible, a really smooth under eye area when you're dealing with concealers. So I'm going to be talking you through it and going over the steps with you so that we can best get a gorgeous finish. Okay, so step number 1, a little bit of a raised eyebrow there. Step number 1. Now, before we do make a start, let me just say that you have to be realistic about this. If your under eye area is really heavily lined, then you're never going to get the smoothest finish that, say, somebody would who's 16. So you need to be realistic. But this way is a great way, and it's the way that I do it. So the first thing you need to do is moisturize your skin. Moisturize your skin and apply that all over the face and let it sink in. Next, you want to take that same moisturizer or another moisturizer that is a little bit thicker, like an eye moisturizer, and apply the under eye cream all underneath the eye area and apply it heavily and allow it to absorb. You may need to take a tissue to take away any excess, and this is perfectly fine because we want the skin to be very, very moist and very plump. Moist is a horrible word. Next, we want to stick with concealer. Now, the general rule is always use a liquid concealer. However, if you have extreme under eye darkness, then use a cream concealer and follow with a liquid. A liquid over a cream, both concealers will look better than just a cream by itself. I know it's mad because we're layering products, but it really will look a lot better. So definitely, like this is like a little 4-pack one by MAC, which is really, really nice. So if you're very dark under the eyes, use that first, then use a liquid. Now I'm gonna go through the concealers that I really like. And these are them here. Now, if you know drugstore alternatives, then put them in the description bar so that people can, the comments box, so that people can be helped. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers are phenomenal. They are very, very crease resistant, so they're excellent. Charlotte Tilbury, the Retoucher, is a really, really good concealer. The fantastic Double Wear Concealer by Estee Lauder is amazing and is not creaseable at all. It's a great concealer. Next is the new Tom Ford concealers. These are really, really nice. The concealing pen, they come with a little sponge applicator tip that is actually really workable. So that's nice. Under Eye Brighteners by Bobbi Brown. And lastly, the Trish McAvoy, which is the Instant Eye Lift. Now they're my favorites. I'm going to be discussing under eye brighteners at another time, but these are great. So you've moisturized and applied eye cream and allowed it to absorb, and you've applied a lot of under eye cream. Next, you apply your concealer. When you've applied your concealer and you've patted and pressed it in, however you want to do it, you now need to set your concealer. Now, be very careful when setting concealer. This is the product that I tend to use, which is the NARS Crystal Translucent Powder, and I tend to use a crease brush because I pick up a very small amount of powder and I can quite literally just tap it really gently onto the eye. Now, I tend to prefer to do this as opposed to this. Reason being is I don't want to disturb the concealer. Also, you want to use the smallest amount of powder possible because you don't want it to be dry or cakey underneath the eyes. However, for those of you who have a lot of creasing that happens with concealer, before you apply all of your concealer, you're going to use an eye primer. Now this is an Urban Decay one that we use for our eyelids, but for those of you who the concealer creases no matter what you do, you're going to apply your moisturizer, under eye cream, then you are going to apply, say, this is an example, Urban Decay Eye Priming Potion underneath the entire eye area. You're going to let that absorb. You're then going to go in with your liquid concealer or your cream and then liquid concealer, and then you are going to use your powder. Very, very lightly. You can use a loose powder if you want, and again, just pat it the least amount possible. The final step is to use a setting spray. You're going to take this setting spray and apply it to a wedge sponge, or you're going to spray it onto the bristles of your brush. So you just give it a little squirt, just a couple, allow it to dissipate, particularly if you're using a setting spray that has alcohol in, and then just very gently tap the spray underneath the eye. The spray and the sealer will get rid of any of the powder residue that you've just put on with the powder, which is really nice, but it will set it. This is the most foolproof way that I know of to apply under eye concealer. So I'm going to go through the steps one more time. Moisturizer, under eye cream, Optional for those of you who crease no matter what is use an eye primer underneath the eye. Allow that to dry completely, then apply your liquid concealer or your cream and then liquid concealer. Allow that to just sit and be with the skin. Then you're going to apply your powder using a crease brush or a very, very soft brush that you're going to pat so that you don't crease it. The next thing you're going to do, and the final thing, is to use a setting spray, which you're going to spray onto a wedge sponge, like a triangle sponge, or onto the brush, and you're never going to sweep. You're always just going to tap. The sealer is to get rid of any of the powder residue and to seal the makeup on. And that is how you will get the most beautiful under eye area with your skin being realistic. So I'm 36, when I smile it creases under my eyes. There's not much I can do about that. Any makeup that you put on the skin will always make you look more wrinkled. There's no way around it. If you were to do half the side of one face, this side with foundation and this with none, this side may look even and more radiant, but it would look more wrinkled. There's no way around it. There is not a single foundation I know of or concealer that will make the lines on your face look less. A makeup-free face always has less lines on it. I don't know why that is. It's just the way it is. But this is the most foolproof way that I know of. Leave your comments in the description bar. If you haven't tried it, give it a go. Follow me on Google Plus and all the other things that are below in the description bar, because I fill it in because I'm a good person. And those are also my favorite concealers, as I mentioned, because they're fabulous. Video is coming up on how to use under eye brighteners. One point, last point. If you do not need to use concealer, do not use concealer. Your foundation may be enough to cover any darkness under the eyes. Under eye brighteners are totally different to concealers, and I'm going to show you how to use them, as I mentioned in another video. But if you don't need concealer, don't use it. Absolutely don't use it. But if you do, then try the method that I've just mentioned and see where we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And one more thing, because people have been asking, because I've changed my camera. Let me just zoom in a little bit so that we can... I know that people have been commenting that, and I'm really pleased you like the quality, but yes, I have got a little patch of a different color in my eye, and yes, that eye has the same, slightly different, and yes, they are slightly different colors. So there you go, because I've been reading your comments, and then you're like, have you got a birthmark and all that stuff? Yes. There you go. Okay, I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.